Solid state drives. As you can see, I have several and they come in different shapes and sizes. This one is out of my Mintbox mini computer and it's called an SATA SSD. It has two screws that retain it in a special slot in the computer. Here I've removed the screws to extract the drive. Here is a bit of a size comparison with the SATA out of the Mintbox being the smallest at about 30mm or 1¼ inches wide. And next to it we see this solid state drive and the hard drive that it replaced from my laptop. They're the same physical size or form factor. Lastly, a traditional hard disk drive that most computers have used over the years. This is an SATA to SATA converter card I got for a few dollars. We can slide the SATA drive into the slot and snap it down and it becomes a normal SSD I could put in my laptop or PC. Should the Mintbox die, I can still use the drive. This is an M.2 SSD, which I don't have yet, as none of mine have failed. Like the SATA, it goes into a special slot on the motherboard. These also come in a range of sizes and performance levels, so you need to know what type your computer will accept. This one from a local supplier here in Australia is 480GB for $61. In comparison to the 6.5-year-old Samsung I have, which is only 128GB and cost me about $140 back in 2014. Roughly 4 times the capacity for less than half the cost. Or this M.2 NVMe 1TB drive for $155, 15 more than what I paid for my Samsung in 2014. So the cost has come down and the size and performance has gone up over the last few years. Here I have 2 solid state drives in my PC. The Samsung has Linux and Windows is on the SanDisk, which is a 120GB drive that was about $55 in 2016, about half the price for almost the same size as my Samsung just 2 years later. Although the Samsung does have a 10-year warranty, so it's still good for a few more years. This is the old Western Digital hard drive that I had in my other computer, and the Samsung drive there replaced this, or this became the data drive, and I actually put the operating system that was on this onto the Samsung, so it was the identical operating system. I actually pulled it off this as an image and wrote it to the Samsung, and the old dual core system that this drive was in, when the hard drive was running it, it took over a minute to boot up, or somewhere about a minute, and yeah, as soon as this went in there, the first time it booted up took 15 or 20 seconds. So that's the biggest gain that I've noticed between the spinning drives and the solid state drives. Yeah, the single, just putting that in, that's all the computers I've owned over the years. That was the real moment of like, wow, that was a big difference. This computer that we're looking at here, I built that in 2016, and prior to this I had a dual core with 4GB of RAM in it, and you know, it does the job. It's fine for browsing the internet. I even managed to run a few virtual machines on it, that sort of thing. It's pretty slow. I was starting to play a few games and it was pretty ordinary for that, and it was probably, you know, 8 years old or something at the time, so I built this one. This is a quad core running at 3.5 GHz with 16 gigs of RAM, and that was like the same difference. Just sticking this drive in the old computer was a big difference, but going from the old computer to the new computer was equally as big a jump, but obviously there's a lot more grunt in that than the old machine. But as far as a single component upgrade, a drive, extra RAM, even a better CPU, I've changed CPUs before, but yeah, you get a little bit of a boost, or even overclocking them, you get a little bit of a boost. But just going from a spinning drive to a solid state drive, you will not believe the difference. And these, as I was mentioning before, with the M.2 NVMe ones, the chewing gum stick sized things that plug directly into the motherboard, they're even faster than these ones again. But this still works, so if it ain't broke, I don't fix. 15-second, 20-second boot time is more than satisfactory to me. So until something goes wrong with one of those, I'll use them until they no longer work. At which point in time, probably the NVMe's will be superseded as well. So, as I say, I do nothing special with them. I just stick them in, install my operating system, and that's it. And I never look at them. I don't take the side cover off this computer very often, so that's yeah, put them in, turn them on, that's it. So that's my basic thoughts there on solid state drives versus spinning drives.